The constant fear of losing a parent or coming home and not knowing if your parent is going to be there is something we've seen rise. Our teachers are interested in protecting our students, knowing how they can help immigrant students and families, and in knowing their rights as educators in the process. We also want to show how some of our locals are engaging these new members. We're going to start today by having Eric Hines welcome you and say something about this important topic.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Eric Hines and I am an immigrant. But let me tell you, this work that we are doing is important for many reasons. Some people think that it's just kind of extra, that it's ancillary to what we educators do, that it's not really about education, and therefore it's something we do just because we're liberals or whatever. This isn't extra to our work, this is our work. DACA not only affects our students, but we have 5,000 teachers in California who are DACA teachers. So it affects our members as well. And it's something that's important to get our members engaged in the work because our schools belong to be safe places for every student and every educator and work and education employee at that school site. The attack on DACA students and on DACA educators is nothing short of immoral. And the attack to break up families and to use them as a negotiating tip to build a stupid wall is more than immoral, it is outrageous. And if we don't stand, who will? Thank you for being here and being part of this important struggle. You have a great panel here you're going to hear from. CTA will be on the forefront of this struggle with our members to fight for this important issue. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from all of you.
Wanted to start off here with just a quote. I'm going to try to go through this quickly. But a quote from Paulo Freire. If you've read his work, amazing philosopher, advocate, activist, writer, educator, learner. Washing one's hands of the conflict between the powerful and the powerless means to side with the powerful and not to be neutral. I think that's what Eric was saying earlier when he said, if not us, then who? Right? Like, if we're not going to stand up, then who's going to do it?
We have received the largest amount of funding from the National Education Association ever given in what was known as their Minority Community Outreach Grant. The coalition was comprised of Asian Americans for Advancing Justice, Cal State Northridge CFA, United Teachers of Los Angeles, and the Alhambra Teachers Association. And the goal of the grant was threefold. One is, we knew from our work with our members that there were a number of people who would join the union. They would fill out their forms, they would come to events, we asked them to, but they didn't see themselves or their interests in the work that the union was doing. They didn't feel that the work that they were doing as community advocates or as immigrant rights workers were things that the union did. So part of our goal was to make sure that we created a space in the union for those doing social justice work. We've been successful in that regard. We have a lot of folks, some who were not members of the union, who are now members of the union, and others who are now active union members assuming leadership roles in the union because of the immigrant rights work. So it was actually a drive to do membership engagement. Second, we wanted to move the conversation and discourse about immigrant rights and immigration from a strictly Latino issue. And so we knew that working with Alhambra and working with CSUN and working with LA and working with Asian Americans with Advancing Justice would bring a coalition of Asian and Latino students and community members to do common and joint work on issues of immigration. So we were very deliberate in making our connections with Asian Americans for Advancing Justice. And third, of course, was to protect the rights of our undocumented. But beyond the undocumented, we were also looking at issues of immigration and immigrant rights, period. So we were moving beyond DACA.
And we're really careful not to make any lists of students. And we're really careful not to write any names down. So it makes it a real struggle. How do we get the resources to students that we don't know who they are? That's a real struggle. Coordinating with our community organizations. We love it, it's awesome, but it's a struggle, man. They go through leadership changes too.
So think of it as like a crash course in all issues that could possibly be affecting immigrant youth and families right now. Afterwards, I had one student come up to me and actually ask me if I would adopt him if his parents were deported. And it broke my heart, because why is this student thinking about that when he should be thinking about the standards, baby?
I'm really proud to be a union member. I'm really proud, after listening to our president and our vice president talk here, I'm really proud to be in this union that we're advocating for these vulnerable communities.
If you have seen or heard anywhere in the media of anyone who is affected by these laws that are taking place, if they are afraid of being deported, you've seen someone being deported, they're talking about their family members being deported, if you have seen or heard that anywhere in the media, whether that's on the news, online, if you still read a newspaper, can you please stand up? And then, as you're standing up, please look around the room. Now, if you have seen or heard of anyone who has been deported, afraid of being deported, or afraid of their family members or friends being deported within your school district, can you please remain standing? Look around. If you have seen or heard of anyone being deported, afraid of being deported, or afraid of their family members being deported at your school, can you please remain standing? Please look around. And last but not least, if you have seen, heard of anyone being deported, afraid of being deported, or afraid of their loved ones being deported in your classroom, can you please remain standing? This breaks my heart.
My parents taught me that I, the granddaughter of illegal Irish immigrants who falsified papers under pursuit from the English government in order to get into this country, grew up in Southern California knowing that all of the wonderful people that I had around me, many of them immigrants, had a similar story and had a similar dream.
Our association put out a press release condemning the ICE raid and the Border Patrol visit. From there, we were able to work with community members. We were part of the Sanctuary City and the Push for Welcoming Cities resolution by the City Council. And we also were able to get our school board to be on board with a resolution for the welcoming school districts. And so it was really important for us as an association to be on point and to be at the forefront of that movement within our town, because we wanted our students and our parents to know that we were there to support them when something like this happens.
When the Trump administration began to implement its immigration rights policy, our whole focus shifted from informing students about what they can apply to informing them of their rights and the concerns that we have under this administration.
I challenge you to go back to your local, to spread the messages that you've heard today from all the panelists, and to really ask, what is the movement that is needed in your association and in your community?